Well, here it is. Well, there's an AC compressor. That's done. My next project is an oldie. This is a 2000 Kountry Aire Newmar fifth wheel. Remember those? There's my next project. Installing a 5500 Onan LP generator on this Kountry Aire. Kountry Aire. So the owner's going to be, I guess, traveling, and they want to have a generator installed. I did my best to talk them into just getting a generator and putting it in the back of their vehicle, but they were insistent that they get the generator installed. They want an LP 5500 Onan generator, and this is where Newmar intended for it to be. The compartment itself isn't quite big enough for the new style ones. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna have to weld up a whole new superstructure for the generator to hold on to. Cut all of this out. And it's gonna be a propane generator. So these are the propane tanks right here. They actually have great big 15-gallon tanks and two of them. So the good news is I can hook up to propane pretty easily. The 110 side, I will be installing a transfer switch. I've mapped that one out to the basement here. It's not going to be the funnest thing. Newmar did weird things for sure. So in here, it's hard to see. There's a black wire. That's where the transfer switch is going to have to go. I'll have to get in the basement here, put the transfer switch from the shore cord up, because the shore cord, the distribution box, is actually in the bathroom for the 110. I guess that's why I brought keys, huh? Inside here, it's really nice. It's in good shape. This is, of course, where the 110 breaker box is. So there's the incoming from the shore panel, or from the shore cord, and it goes into the sidewall, down the sidewall, into the basement. Now, it's been about 17 years since I did my last one of these, and it was on a London Aire. But it's a very similar setup. And I guess I've learned a little bit since then. I haven't ruled out installing a generator battery in this compartment. That was just strictly for charging the generator, or for running the generator, and putting a trickle charger on that generator battery. I won't do a complete walkthrough or build on this. I'll just keep you guys updated on what's going on. Well, I'm getting started on this. This floor doesn't come out because it's built in place. So I have to cut it in half just to get it out. You know, I can't really figure out how they expected this to be a generator compartment. So this is just behind that back wall there. So there's nothing really sealed off here. So I'm gonna have to make a panel and seal it off to keep exhaust gases from going inside, because you can kind of see inside there. And that's quite the framing they built on this thing. There you go. That's what I got going on now. I was gonna try to wrap this stuff over, but this aluminum so thin that it wouldn't do anything anyway, so I have to get a C-channel to clamp these up. I just have to design a some sort of a support for the generator. The generator's not in yet, so let me see if I can't figure something out. Now, it just so happens I have another fifth wheel here on the lot that has a very similar sized generator. So I will take the measurements off of this and see what we can do. Transfer these over to there. So you notice it has these cross members right there underneath that bolts in. So I can't do it this way because I don't have the lip on mine. So I have to make them go from side to side. Okay. Took me the better part of a day to do this. But this spot was not for this new style generator. It was for the older Emerald series that were not completely encased. So this is what I came up with. This is actually a piece of 3-inch angle. I did weld it to the frame itself, and then I used some 1-inch angle to reinforce it so it's hanging by the frame also, not just welded to it. So I put 3 of those in. I had to get some C-channel. See it here, C-channel. And that's welded to the lip of here. Sorry about that. And the lip of this one right here. So I have those 2 C-channels transferring this weight down to the front. And I had a brace underneath right here, so I lowered this with some flat stock and transferred the weight on the front with this 2-inch angle. And then because this door has these notches out here, I couldn't have these going all the way out to his point. I had to recess these in so it fits and the door shuts. That was not what I wasn't expecting to have to do that. I just have to make a plate on the back and seal it up. I'm gonna take the 110 up through the floor there into the basement, and then of course the propane's right there. So hopefully this fits. I actually have about 18 inches, 18 3/4 in height, and 34 inches this way, and then 23 inches deep. So it should fit. And this door does shut. Let's go ahead and shut the door so we can kind of see what it looks like. This door I had to notch out quite a bit too. That bottom lip used to go all the way to this point with a little bulge actually. I had to cut all that off. And let's see if we can latch this up. Okay. So there it is, closed up. You will be able to see a little bit of the generator exposed here. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about it. If there's anything that's universally truth with all RV technicians, is we all fundamentally hate every decision the factory made with the location of anything they installed. So in this instance, since I'm installing the generator, I guess I'm the factory in this situation. So to my future self, or a future RV technician that needs to get to this transfer switch, I'm sorry. I did warn you. The 110 coming in from the shore power is coming right behind here, so I had to take the furnace out. We'll go through the furnace. So I'm just laying down in here. I got the transfer switch installed. That's going to the distribution box. That's from a shore cord. That's going to be my generator. Well, that is my generator. So I got that all the way down there to a box. So I just have to run this ground and the chassis ground to the chassis there. And then the transfer switch will be installed. And one less thing to do. This is one of those jobs that I didn't really want to do. And I already have, what, at least $5,000, if not a little bit more, invested into this. Just between the generator, the transfer switch, and the remote harness, the exhaust pipe. Maybe I have more than 5,000 into this. And I need to make sure that the generator is at least going to fit before I commit it much further. It's been a long day. Well, all right, guys. It's been nothing but a nightmare getting this generator. I don't have time to do an awful lot at this point. I got to measure it up and hopefully get it installed. But we'll go ahead and unbox it. And there it is. Here's how it ships brand new. Got some mounting bolts here. I'm sure they're not long enough. There's the owner's manual. This is propane, so you don't have a fuel cutoff valve to the carburetor. It does come with the 110 wiring. This is it right here. You can see how small it is. I do have loom for that. There's the remote harness, and the battery cable will go right there. It does normally ship with oil, just like it probably says here. One of these things, yeah. And time's of the essence now. Let me get this thing unloaded. Try to at least see if it fits in place. Looks like it should. All right, well, there it's in place. So at least the measurements I used there were right. Just have to drill out holes. And right here is where the propane line goes. So I'm gonna have to notch this frame right here so I can get propane to it. So far we're looking okay. Just measure out, I just need to measure out where all the bolts go and then drill some holes. Okay guys, well this is what I came up with. I had to notch this much back, like I was pretty confident I was gonna have to. That way the 110 wiring and the propane can go in. The battery goes through here too. I got my 2 bottom mounting holes and I went with side mounting holes on this one. So it should be pretty well secured. Now these holes in the generator don't come tapped, so you have to tap them. The bolts they send are actually tapping bolts. You can kind of see they're triangular. So I just have to finish doing some undercoating, throw this thing in, and then really it's just electrical hookups after that, and of course, I guess propane and an exhaust. Alright guys, so I got everything temporarily installed. I even got the exhaust on. Got the propane line hooked up. I don't have anything secured, but let's just see if it starts. How about that? Alright, we're running. Turn on the breakers and let's see if we get power inside. You can hear me. Turn the battery on. Oh, the battery is on. I just heard the transfer switch engage. Let's see if we have... Hey, look at that. We got microwave in here. Let's turn on the AC. Alright, got the AC going there. There's 1, there's 2. See how the remote looks. And the remote's working. So I say we have a successful test so far. What I need to do is find out if there's a 20 amp breaker and a 30 amp breaker. I need to make sure the 30 amp breaker is on the main or front AC, because generally that's the one that's going to be on the battery charger too. So I want to make sure that the one that has the most amount of load on it has the big breaker. I'm going to trip the 30 amp. Hopefully there's no power at the battery charger outlet, wherever that is. I don't remember. Oh, it's right here. Nope, we got power there, so I have the 30 amp on. The wrong one. Let's see what AC turned off too. Huh, looks like it's the main AC. Yep, I lost the bedroom one. So the bedroom one I put on the 30 amp. So I have to switch that around. The easiest place to do that's going to be right at the box in here. So I'll do that real fast. Now what I'm saying may not make too much sense, but right here at the load center, we have a 50 amp breaker, double pro breaker. It's 50 amp on each one. So this generator has a 20 and a 30. So I wired up the 20 to handle the main AC, the battery chargers, and the microwave. That's all going to draw more than 20 amps. So I just need to reverse these 2 leads rather than rewire the generator. That'll be easier to do it here. All right, that was pretty fast. So now red's on the bottom. Now I just go ahead and start it. Let's try it from the inside now. Okay. It's running. Now I just have to wait for the transfer switch to kick in. Alright, so the transfer switch just kicked in. I don't have microwave. I turn on the thermostat and cool on zone 2. The bedroom one should run, but the main one won't. Alright. So I can hear the secondary AC running. The microwave doesn't work, and I'm sure I don't have power at the battery chargers. No power there. Alright, now the 30 amps on. Alright, we have power there again. And I'm sure if we were to go inside, the other ACs were running. Alright. Microwave's on. Other AC's on. We can do a amp test. See how many amps each one's drawn. So now that one's doing 18. The red one's doing 13. So I think we're doing pretty good. Just have to finish buttoning everything up and this job is done. Alright, I turned the propane off, turned the generator off. I'm just going to do an LP leak test to make sure there's no leak in the system. So I'm just going to turn this on until that little window goes to green. That means the system's pressurized. Now I can turn this off. You know what, I'll leave it on. I'm going to check for leaks at my adapter. Right here is where I put my tap in. This is the new line from the generator. This is the existing manifold, and this is the supply. This supply used to go straight into the manifold there, or the pipe, but I put a T in, and that's how I got propane to it. So let's make sure my adapter's not leaking. Doesn't seem to be. And what are we reading about? 10.5 inches of water column. Wow, it's almost like that's where it needs to be. And then, of course, this is the only way to actually check your system pressure. If you were to go to the stove, the stove has its own regulator, so you don't get a true pressure reading there. So now what I have to do is bleed the pressure down to about, we'll call it 8 inches of water column. That way all the regulators are open at that point. And then I'll check and make sure it doesn't lose pressure for at least 3 minutes. This way is a little bit more difficult. Alright, well, that worked. See, I'm down to about 8 inches, so I'll leave it there. Watch and make sure that it doesn't have a big leak. And it doesn't seem to, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes. Come back to here. And it doesn't have a leak, so the system's not leaking. That's just a manometer. We use inches of water column, which is that center. Alright, I just have to disconnect this now, and then this job is done. Well, I just finished up the LP leak test. There's the generator installation. I think it's the best I could do in this situation. The wiring just goes above, up into there. I do have both ACs running right now. And that's all back together. You can kind of see the remote wiring right there. But it closes. Been running it for about an hour now. Everything seems to be doing fine now. So I think that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so there you have it. LP generator, let's see. Onan 5500 LP generator installation with transfer switch and remote start on a 2000 Kountry Aire fifth wheel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this was not a fun job. I knew it wasn't gonna be fun, but I thought it was gonna be a little bit better than this. I would not do this again, and I would not recommend doing this. I have a lot of bad things to say about my supplier, but that's not the place for it right now, I guess. The only thing I will recommend on all generator installs, or even if you don't have a generator installed but you do use a generator, put a carbon monoxide detector inside. Any trailer or RV that doesn't come with a generator doesn't come with a carbon monoxide detector in general. And you're not supposed to die. You're supposed to have a good time. So make sure you put a carbon monoxide detector in. Bye, guys. Well, I'm over here at Power RV, and look what I ran into. Speak of the devil. It's not the same one, it's a different one. And check this out. It came with a generator, and this is what it's supposed to look like. So this is the old style one. So it's a lot narrower. And they were hanging it from the floor on drawer rails. I don't know. See how they did it under here? Kind of very similar. But I don't know that I really trust that. Obviously it's lasted for, I don't know, 19 years, but it seems a little janky to me.